Hello there, you faithful few.
And welcome back to DMS Adventures,
where it's no ruse, we're going on a cruise. That's right, you faithful few. We've hinted at it in a couple of our last videos over the last couple of weeks, but 2025 is Rugged Mountain Mama and I's 25th wedding anniversary. So to celebrate, we booked ourselves a cruise to none other than, wait a minute, pause the video and put down in the comments where you think DMS Adventures would go for a cruise. And you can't cheat. If you already know, you can't put it down there. You guessed it, it's Alaska. Well, since you faithful few are pretty savvy individuals, I think you'll notice that we're not actually on a cruise right now. We are in the woods of Spring Mill State Park. So I kind of wanted to do an intro video for our cruise that's coming up, and didn't really want to do it just in our backyard. So I was trying to think of where we could go to do this video, make it be a little more interesting than just the backyard tree. And as it turns out, Spring Mill Inn got a major renovation and we hadn't checked it out yet. So we decided to come on down here after our soccer games and check out the inn, which we've actually already done. So let's hop in our 10-minute time machine and head back and check it out. Well, it basically looks the same, at least from the outside. Let's see what a crushed child it looks like. So what should be a smell of like a lodge is replaced by the smell of new carpet. So right there where that wood paneling is where the check-in used to be. And you went down a couple steps here and then down into the main lobby area. This over here used to be the gift shop. So now the gift shop is over here. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. Yeah, the check-in is now in the main lobby area over here. The restaurant still kind of looks the same. There used to be a big aquarium right here in that opening, but that is gone. And then let's see what the downstairs looks like now. I'm not so sure this got much of an upgrade. Floor's the same. They got rid of the arcade games that were over there. I think the charm of the basement is still intact, just not really the main lobby upstairs. They opened it up a lot more. It used to be closed off and there was a pool out there and a pool in here. So the big TV here is a new addition, and that is where Rugged Mountain's sister would be if we were staying here, sitting on the chase watching a movie. Well, I just noticed that there is a TV on this side too. So someone can be watching one movie over here and someone else can be watching another movie over here. So they did keep the game room, they just moved it out of that main area and moved it into here. Such as it is. I mean, they got Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Galaga, and those are really the only 3 games they need. Show us how it's done.
I can't. This gun's too big for me.
Can't even get it on your shoulder. Perfect. Look like a professional skeet shooter. And so that the fun never ends, they got an ATM in here too. Well, there you go, you faithful few. The newly updated for 2025 Spring Mill Inn. And now back to your regularly scheduled hike. Yeah, so overall the upgrade to the inn, it's not that bad, but still still kind of takes away from the old nostalgia of it. So consider this video number 1 of probably the next 17 weeks of videos, because I imagine we are going to have a buttload of content coming up once we get up there. So I wanted to take some time and just kind of go through what it is that we're going to be doing on the cruise, what our itinerary kind of is, give you faithful few like a heads up as to what the trip is going to be like. So it's kind of funny, when this video airs, we will have been back for like a week from the trip, but as of the time of recording, we're not leaving for another 10 days. Also, of course, testing out some gear that we're going to use in Alaska. I've got the Waymark Evolve pack, kind of a day pack. This is what I'll take out on the excursions and such when we get into port. You know, Devin from Backcountry Exposure, he hooked me up with these 2 pouches down here from his shop. So now I've got some extra room to put things, because I'm sure I'm going to be carrying a bunch of camera gear, snacks, and lots of odds and ends. Well, while we're here, we're also going to go and check out Donaldson Cave again. The friends that we are with haven't seen the new walkway that they built down here, so we're going to go check that out. Last time we were here with our friends from Santos Chronicles. So normally, you faithful few, I have a light in my chest rig, but I wasn't wearing the chest rig today. Just trying a different setup, so I'm going off a phone light only. I'm not sure if the Pocket 3 does very good in this sort of light situation. Rugga Mountain siblings are back here somewhere. Good thing I got those brand new Ultras. So you can see the light at the end of the tunnel over there. Rugga Mountain siblings, checking it out. Well, this is the view from outside the hole. Looking down into the cave, turn around and get that beautiful scenery. There's the mouth of the cave over yonder. That creek comes out of there and meanders its way down to a lake. Oh boy.
No, she was following me. I was leading, and I stepped in this like one spot, and my foot came down. So I was like, whoa, and got out. And then Sadie went in the same spot as me, and she didn't make it out.
Yeah.
Well, there's Donaldson Cave again. It's always fun to check out. So in 10 days, we will be embarking on the grandest adventure DMS Adventures has ever taken. I'd say we have a pretty basic Alaskan cruise tour itinerary. Note that it is a cruise tour, however, which is pretty cool because we're going to be on the boat for 7 days, and then we're going to be heading to the inner part of Alaska all the way up to Fairbanks. Well, we have got a 6 a.m. flight out of Indianapolis, and it goes to Detroit. Then from Detroit, we're going to Vancouver, and the port of Vancouver is where we will board our ship, the Coral Princess. We are sailing with the Princess Cruise Lines, and they have some of the better itineraries. I think they are allowed to go into Glacier Bay, which is something I'm really looking forward to checking out. And then our first port of call will be Ketchikan. In Ketchikan, we have a rainforest hike excursion planned, which of course is right up our alley. Presume it may look somewhat like this, maybe just on a grander scale. Then after Ketchikan, our next port of call will be Juneau, the capital, of course, of Alaska. And then in Juneau, our excursion is, we're taking a tram to top of the mountains or whatever, and then checking out Mendenhall Glacier. So packing is, of course, going to be challenging for this sort of thing. I know everybody always says layers, layer up. Talking about misters carrying a geode around over his head for some odd reason. Pioneer Village. this way. I heard that like the interpretive center there at Mendenhall Glacier is closed due to lack of staffing, or maybe closed when we're there. But, you know, they don't close the glacier. This is new. Then after Juneau, it's on to Skagway, where we have an excursion on the White Pass train. That's gonna take us up, you know, to the White Pass. Pretty sure it was like the train that got everybody up to the Gold Rush area. So that should be exciting. And then after Skagway, then we get to sail in to Glacier Bay. Then at Glacier Bay, you kind of just spend the day there. The ship goes into the bay and then like circles around, you know, so everybody gets a nice view of it. So you're kind of there the whole day on the ship. Then after that is the College Fjord, where I think it's kind of a similar thing. Just kind of float around there and ooh and ah over the scenery. Then we head into Whittier, which is where we disembark from the boat and begin the tour portion of our cruise tour. At that point, we will get on a train and make our way up to Talkeetna. In Talkeetna, we'll board a bus and head to the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. That night is the only night that we don't have an excursion planned already, so we could either choose something to do or we could just, you know, relax and walk around the lodge area. Then it's time for another bus ride where we head up to the Mount McKinley Wilderness Lodge, and there I think they have good views of what is it? Mount McKinley. At that lodge, the excursion that they have planned for us is we're going actually into the Denali National Park. Then the next day we'll get back on a bus again. We're gonna be spending a lot of time in buses and drive up to Fairbanks. And once we get to Fairbanks, they have another excursion planned for us where we will be going on a riverboat. So we get a riverboat cruise at the end of our ocean cruise. And that's basically it. That will end the adventure. Hop on a plane there in Fairbanks, get back home to Indianapolis via Seattle. One thing that I have not decided yet is whether, like, how to shoot this, because, you know, it's going to be 10 days of adventuring and, you know, a lot of adventuring. So I know I'm going to come back with a ton of footage. It's all going to be super beautiful, even in the rain. So I'm kind of thinking, I mean, I'd love to do it like in a cinematic, you know, more of a cinematic way. I don't know that I have the equipment or the talent to pull that off. So maybe we just do it like an adventurecation. It's an Alaska venturecation, and just kind of go, you know, day by day, or do some extra stuff like, you know, a feature of Ketchikan and then a feature of Juneau, a feature of the ship. I know that kind of content would do pretty good. I don't know. Like I said, by the time this video comes out, I will have already made that decision. Well, we've been making our way to the Pioneer Village here while I'm chit-chatting with you faithful few about the cruise. Rocky Mountain sister and Miss Sadie waiting for everybody. We're leading the pack. There's Rocky Mountain Mister coming in his bright tie-dyed DMS shirt. One of the other reasons I wanted to come down here to do this video was they finally fixed the grist mill. When we were here with the Santos Chronicles crew, the axle had been broken and the mill was not operational. Well, they've since fixed that, and now it's too late now. It's probably not running right now, but they did like kind of pretty up the facade and everything, and so we're gonna go check that out. I just think this is one of the most peaceful and serene creeks, I don't know, in Indiana. Just the way it comes through the village and then out down this grassy area. It's all kind of, you know, flat, and then just peacefully rolls downstream. we are here near the golden hour, and my goodness, this is beautiful down here. Nicely cut grass, children beating rocks on the asphalt. So peaceful. Granny Smith's house here is awesome, and I think this is more square footage than our house. If I lived in the 1800s and I had property and I needed a fence, I would definitely take the time to do that thing along the top. At least I think I would. Let's see if I can find some B-roll of the mill, but I'm pretty sure they completely redid all that bright cedar colored wood. Yeah, check that out. The flume looks new all the way down to the wheel itself. The wheel looks brand new. And then that whole facade there, all the way up is new. So that right there, that shaft is the new component that they needed. Look at those wedges right there. So they stick the spoke into the shaft, and then they use wedges on each side to make it a tight fit. And they got a couple screws stuck in there. I think we use those kind of screws on our deck. Okay, I've done about 35 reveal shots of the gardens back there. I just can't help it, it's too pretty. What do you think, you faithful few? Could you live here? For the unruly teenagers, I'm sure it's a nice place. The rarely paid attention to blacksmith shop. Actually been in there when he's working before. It's pretty cool. Well, that was a brief tour of the village, and we are on our way back to the vehicles to kind of end our kind of short day down here at Spring Mill State Park. So next week we'll begin our epic cruise tour adventure to Alaska. We're super excited, of course, to be going on this. I'm not sure, I think the kids are a little nervous about the travel. It's been like 6 or 7 years since they've been on a plane. My mister doesn't even remember ever being on a plane. Well, I'm really looking forward to documenting that trip for not only our own posterity, but for the entertainment of you faithful few. All right, well, we hope to see you all next week in Alaska. We just want to thank you all so much for watching, and you all have a great day.
Bye.